Hey guys, it's Haley and welcome to another bookish video. Today I'm going to be getting into a 24-hour readathon. I haven't done this in about a year, but it was about that time. I've had a really stressful, really difficult week, and I just want 24 hours to do nothing but read because that is what I do for my self-care. So I'm just going to be reading for 24 hours straight. And if you are wondering, like, I didn't even hear about her doing this, I didn't even hear about this going on, it's because I hosted the readathon and most readathons that I do over on my Patreon. So if you ever want to be a part of that, check it out. It's always linked down below. But yeah, I'm just basically going to be reading with my patrons for 24 hours. I have nothing else to do. I have things that I probably should do, but I'm taking 24 hours for self-care only. So I've already started. It is currently 4:20 on August 25th, Friday, and I've been reading for a little over an hour and a half. So like I started at like 2:50 or something like that. So we're gonna go to probably around 3 o'clock tomorrow on a Saturday, but I am into If You Tell by Greg Olson, and I'm listening to this on audio from Kindle Unlimited. A lot of people don't know that some Kindle Unlimited books have the audio included, so that is how I got the audio, just borrowed from Kindle Unlimited. I'm about 15-ish% of the way through. I was just listening while I was finishing up some stuff around the house before I got into the readathon totally, but I want to have an audio that I can keep coming back to and something that I'm okay taking breaks from, because I mostly want to be physically reading, and just when I'm like cooking, showering, things like that, then I can put on my audiobook. And I feel like this is the perfect book for that because it is a true crime book. So if you don't know about If You Tell, it's a nonfiction true crime telling of this horrific situation that these three sisters went through. I believe they are like, they have different names in the book for privacy, but it's the story of the Watson family, and the matriarch was just horribly abusive and put her three daughters through a lot. I don't know anything about the case, and I usually don't engage with true crime content, but I've heard that this one is written with a lot of empathy, understanding, an emphasis on the psychology, but it's written like an engaging thriller. So I don't know how I feel about like both of those taken together, since it is real people, but so far I will say I do understand the understanding component and the psychology component. That is a pretty massive part of the book. The empathy, I don't know. I feel like I'm often feeling more empathy for the perpetrator of the violence than the narrator of the story is. Maybe that's because, I don't know, just from my profession, like my default is holding empathy for a lot of different people that are different than me, people that I maybe will find it hard to understand sometimes. But yeah, I don't know totally if I'm sold on the empathy, because I feel like I will hear a line sometimes and be like, well, maybe that person did something really fucked up, but I don't know. I still like have understanding for the why and like what made them that way. So I don't know. It's very interesting. It's putting me in a very conflicted state of mind, and I'm already kind of feeling like I need to take a break from it. So that's a pretty good sign that this is something that I can return to, but probably don't want to just binge and listen straight through. I'm going to need to take breaks from it since it is real life and it is really intense. Please look up trigger warnings, obviously, for anything that I talk about that I'm going to be reading that is like horror, true crime, anything like that. Because I will probably be reading a lot of that kind of stuff because that is what I enjoy reading. But make sure you make your own decisions, be smart about it. So that is where I'm at with my reading. I am going to walk the dogs, make myself some food, and then pick up a physical book. Is she not the cutest thing you've ever seen in your life? I know! Oh my gosh, you're the cutest thing ever. Do you want to go on a walk? Let's go! You want to go on a walk, guys? Let's go! They're so excited. All right, pups are walked. Mochi has his cutie little shirt on, and I'm all cozy. I have my candles, I have my slippers, I have my wine. Don't judge me, I know it's like 15 minutes before 5 p.m., but I've had a hard week. I think I deserve it. So I'm going to make myself a girl dinner. Cameron works late. I have nothing but reading, so I'm gonna make myself a girl dinner. If you don't know what girl dinner is, you're about to find out. It's just a bunch of random little accoutrements that you put together because you're a girl and you're in the mood for it. So girl dinner time. Also, I feel like so stilted talking to the camera. I don't know. This is the first video that I filmed since all the things happened this past week. So if I'm sounding like really stilted or like nervous at all, I apologize. It's just like, I feel like everything that I ever will say, anything that will ever come out of my mouth will be like picked apart by people, so I'm a little like hyper aware and just like overthinking what I'm saying. So sorry if that is distracting. I'm gonna try to just like ease back into filming as much as I can, but yeah. All right, girl dinner time. Okay, so this is an essential part of girl dinner, which is the platter. So I already have pineapple with tahini and a little mini baguette with a goat cheese dip that I made with like apricot little spread and almonds in it. And then I have a bang bang shrimp in the air fryer ready to go. I still have to make the sauce for it, but I'm literally about to do that. And that is in itself the beauty of girl dinner, is I can just like feel what I want. So like I have homemade salsa from my dad that I could eat chips and salsa, but I don't know, I'm kind of like feeling Italian. So like maybe I want to make a pasta, but also there's no vegetables in my girl dinner. So like maybe I should roast some broccoli or do like a creamed spinach situation. I don't know. We will see. We will just see how girl dinner unfolds. That's the joy of it all. See what I mean? Like we do be having the shrimps and they do be slapping, but something is missing here. Unsure. We'll marinate on it. Remember when I was like, oh yeah, this is a good one because I'm gonna take breaks from it. 2 hours later. It's like 6:20. I've literally been finding shit to do around the house to keep listening to this book because it's just like unimaginable. Unimaginable. Like it's like a car crash that I cannot look away from. Thinking about the level of manipulation and psychological torment that has to happen for this to happen in real life, and it did. I had a really hard time reading The Girl Next Door by Jack Ketchum, although I think it's a wonderfully done extreme horror book. It was extremely hard to read. This is like that times 12. Like, this is real. And of course the Jack Ketchum book was also based on a real case, but it wasn't real people in the book. So there was kind of like some distance that you can get, and you could sit there and think about the commentary. And I'm trying to think about the commentary and the psychology as I'm listening to If You Tell. And I just keep going back to like, this fucking happened. I cannot wrap my brain around it. I can't wrap my brain around it. Holy fuck. It is so sad. I'm not sure if the like narrative, the like telling of what happened is going to end at some point and we're going to dive into psychology pieces. I would like that to get something more out of the book other than just like listening to the tragedy that occurred, but we will see. I am almost to the halfway point. I'm not quite there, but I've literally been like I dusted my bookshelves, I watered the plants, I did all the dishes, I like put away the other dishes, I was like doing hand wash things, I scrubbed the counters, I was cleaning the house down because I just like could not stop listening to this book. So that's where I'm at with If You Tell. I need to go pick up some book mail and tell you about that, and then I'm gonna put this down and pick up a physical book and probably hop on sprints. So that is my plan. That is my next phase in my 24-hour readathon. Literally, just to illustrate to you how crazy this book is, I'm gonna tell you a little bit that happened in it. If you don't want to hear it, skip, because number one, it's going to be disturbing. Number two, it's going to be something that happened in the book. I don't believe that nonfiction books have spoilers. There are no spoilers for real life. This actually happened to somebody, so if you don't like that, too bad. But this is just something that happened literally while I was going to pick up my package that illustrates how just like fucked the situation was. So some woman died over the course of the abuse that happened at this home. And the dad, the like husband of the abuser, didn't want to call an ambulance or the police to deal with the situation because he didn't want to, quote, cause his kids trauma when they're literally being abused every day and witnessed a woman get murdered over the course of like months. Oh my God, it like makes me want to throw up. It makes me want to cry to like how you can think that, like how your mind can go to that place. Like that was the only thing he told himself to survive. Oh my God, just like the story of these people's resilience. I don't know how they're fine. Like, wow, this is just incredible. Okay, yeah, I gotta put this book down. So before I start spiraling, let me show you my little book haul. I ordered a ton of books from authors who were supporting me during this entire situation with He Who Must Not Be Named. Caitlin Marceau was probably the most vocal supporter that I have, so I ordered a ton of her books. This is the first one that got here, A Blackness Absolute. I cannot wait to read it. Also got hashtag Thigh Gap by Chandler Morrison because somebody actually recommended this on one of my TikToks. I got The Devil Takes You Home by Gabino Iglesias. He was super vocal on TikTok. Small Town Monsters by Diana Rodriguez Wallach. She was also very vocal with her support. And Annie, sweet Annie from TikTok, Annie England Noblin, Maps for the Getaway. This is like sweet little contemporary story, it seems like. So if y'all are looking to support authors that supported me, there are a few. I also got a couple just that I wanted to treat myself. I knew that I wanted to read this one during spooky season this year, so I got that. And then I got Slewfoot by Brahm for my Deja taste test, which is coming at some point in the next couple months, definitely before the end of the year. So that's my little book haul. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to dive into a physical book. Actually, I think I'm going to dive into a Kindle book, but reading words nonetheless rather than listening to words. So I think I'm going to pick up a Caitlin Marceau. This Is Where We Talk Things Out. Something like that. I don't remember the exact title, but Aspen has been recommending it to me for literal months, and this is just the push that I need to pick it up. So I'm gonna start that on Sprinty Sprints. Hello vlog, I am a third of the way into This Is Where We Talk Things Out by Caitlin Marceau on Sprints, and it is so good so far. It is just a little like horror novella. It is so unsettling. And it deals a lot with family trauma. So we love those two things for me. We also love the LGBTQIA rep. We are following a sapphic couple, two women that are about to get married, and one of them wants to repair her relationship with her mom before she marries her fiance. So she goes on a weekend with her mom to this cabin. It's a very snowy, isolated vibe, so this is really good if you're a mood reader for that kind of a time, but I'm not reading it in the winter and I'm still enjoying it, so I don't think that's absolutely necessary. But yeah, when they get to the cabin, there's something very odd and unsettling about it that I'm not going to give away, but I'm loving it so much. It's like the good mix of traditional horror and like more psychological trauma horror. I love it so far, so I will update you when I'm another third of the way in. I love the illustrations in this book. The illustrations are literally so cool. Oh my god, I love it. And I love that we get it in the ebook as well. As you can see, I'm at the 74 25% mark, and things are going off the rails. I think I know exactly where they're going. I don't want to spoil anything because this is such a short little horror novella and it would be easy to spoil, but tensions are high. And the best way to describe the horror is it just feels like real life horror. Like, this is not far off from reality. It actually reminds me of like some therapy sessions that I've been in as the therapist and the client. So beware, triggers for attachment trauma. Wow. It's really good. It's really effective. It's just like slightly more ridiculous and terrifying than real life. I'm absolutely loving it. And I'm about to finish. I just finished This Is Where We Talk Things Out. I don't really have words because it was exactly the way that I wanted it to end. Like, I was picturing kind of like what would be the most therapeutic ending. And it was that, but just like a little bit more fucked up. It wasn't exactly what I was picturing, but it was something akin to like what I wanted to happen without it being like totally predictable. I don't think it was shocking, but I do think it was good. And I'm gonna give it 5 stars for the psychological horror alone. It felt so true to life. I felt so seen reading it. Huge triggers for like attachment trauma, familial stuff. Wow. But it was pretty dark. Really good. I loved the writing. I mean, easy 5-star. Oh my god. First book of the 24-hour readathon is a 5-star. I love it. And I'm going to keep reading on my Kindle because my patrons on Sprints just let me know that A Welcome Reunion by Lucinda Berry just got put on KU. This is the follow-up short story to The Perfect Child, which I love that book. So we're going to try out A Welcome Reunion, the little novella, another little novella moment, and see how I like it. Hey vlog, I listened to a little bit more of If You Tell while I was making my potatoes. I don't know, we were just talking about mashed potatoes on Sprints, and so I was like, I'm gonna make them. And I did, and they were good. I ate like 4 bites and then I was like, why did I make these? So now I have leftover mashed potatoes, which is a moment for me, I guess. But yeah, I'm still feeling the way that I feel about If You Tell. I don't know, it feels weird to say that I'm liking it. It's very informative, it's very scarring. But now we have another sprint and I'm not making potatoes this time around, so I'm gonna dive back into A Welcome Reunion. I'm at the 25% mark and I'm really enjoying it. Hello vlog, I am fading fast. I usually try to not sleep at all during a 24-hour readathon, but I've gotten like no sleep this week. So I'm gonna try to sleep some, and I'm feeling that that might be coming sooner rather than later. It's 1 a.m. and I'm 70% through A Welcome Reunion by Lucinda Berry. It's just as good as The Perfect Child. It's really fun to like pick back up with the same characters. I know a lot of people had a complaint at the end of The Perfect Child. They wanted a more like solid ending. A lot of people didn't like the ending. I personally loved it, but this does like clarify some stuff. So it takes place 10 years later and we're just checking up on all the characters. The main girl is just as sinister, and now she's 18, so she's an adult woman. She can kind of do whatever she wants, and we're seeing the adults from the first book kind of have that panic moment all over again. And wow, it's just so much fun. It is so interesting. It's well written. Lucinda Berry's writing just like pulls you right in. So I love it, but I'm also falling asleep, so I think I'm gonna make a coffee and hopefully that revives me for a little bit so I can just finish this book, maybe get a little bit of a head start on another one, and then I will get a little bit of sleep tonight. Hello vlog. It is 3 in the morning, so we are halfway through the 24-hour readathon, officially at the halfway point. I've been reading for 12 hours, and I just finished my second book, and that is I'm so tired, I can't even think of the name. The fucking what? The clandestine meeting. It is not called the clandestine meeting. What am I talking about? The perfect condition? The coincidental condition? I don't fucking know. I just finished this book. It was really good majority of the way through, and then it took a turn, and I was like, okay, I don't know if I'm 100% on board with the turn. Then we got some commentary, explanation, and I got on board with the turn. And then the ending just cut off. It did the same thing that people were pissed off about in the first book, the like Perfect Child. People didn't like that it was a cut-off ending. So this was supposed to resolve that. And then it gave us another cut-off ending. I feel like it just needed a little bit more fleshing out. And if that turn was going to be taken, which I like the commentary, so I'm not mad about it, then it needed a little bit more at the end. It's where you can like kind of extrapolate and guess where it's going. But I would like some like more non-ambiguous confirmation that it was truly going where I suspected it was. So I think I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I was leaning towards a 4, but because that ending just like didn't hit for me, I'm going to land on a 3.5 out of 5. And I'm going to go to bed. We're still on Sprinties, so I'll probably do a little chat with the girlies. I've literally been sprinting for 8 hours at this point, which is wild. But I'll just probably chat with the girls for a little bit and then get some sleep before waking up tomorrow and starting it all over again. Hello vlog. It is the next morning. I slept from 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. and then I immediately put in my audiobook as soon as I woke up. So I only have about 15-ish% left in If You Tell. It's still really heavy. I keep like having to remind myself that this is in fact true, and then it just like hits you all over again. So it's very, very, very emotionally impactful, could be very, very, very triggering. Just kind of be aware of that. It's written so masterfully. Like the writing is really great, and it illustrates the psychology really well without getting like bogged down in that. So I'm appreciating that, and I understand the lack of empathy from the beginning for the perpetrator of the violence, because I still hold empathy for the little girl who like had to go through the things that she did to make her the way that she is. But I really am having a hard time finding empathy for her now as an adult, as she's like, the actions are being described. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm gonna try to finish up my audiobook as I eat my little donut feast that Boba is being very good and not even trying to go towards. Cameron got me a little feast, so I have a little donut haul I can give you. We have 2 kolaches, a boudin, and a turkey, a sprinkle of course, and then a filled. And I think it's filled with cream. I love to be filled with cream. Anyway, I'm gonna eat my feast and finish up my audiobook. And I started last night on Sprints You Can Trust Me by Wendy Hurd, which is just like a fun little skinny thriller. So I will dive back into her after that. Hello vlog, I just finished with If You Tell, and wow, that was a lot. And I'm kind of struggling. Obviously it's nonfiction, so I'm not gonna rate it because I don't rate, you know, real people's experiences. As for the writing was well done. It was great. It was engaging, but that's something that I also kind of have an issue with. Like, I don't know. people really praise the way that this book is written in a really engaging, almost like thriller horror plot kind of way, but it is nonfiction. And I found myself like having to constantly remind myself that it is. Some of that, for me personally, just felt a little exploitative. I'm not saying that it is, I'm saying that it felt that way for me personally. So that just made me feel weird. And I honestly just felt like there wasn't enough education in it. Like there wasn't a purpose for reading the book other than to hear about the horrible things that happened. It was literally 400 something pages of like horrible things that happened, which is like, yeah, that's true crime. But I feel like my favorite true crime books kind of have a point, kind of have a commentary to them. Like The Last Victim talks about the psychology of like being taken advantage of by someone who has antisocial personality disorder, even when they're not physically near you. Boba, what are you doing moving my camera, girl? Even when you don't have physical contact with them, like they can still harm you, and exploring those ways, which is really intriguing to me. I'll Be Gone in the Dark has commentary about like the police and investigators and like how people who deal with psychopathy escalate and how the police like get evaded and aren't very effective sometimes with this escalation, like connecting the cases. Like those parts were very interesting and intriguing to me, and why I got a lot out of those books. And I didn't feel that same feeling with If You Tell. It was just a lot of like recounting events and not a lot of commentary on why I needed to know about these events occurring, other than this is what can happen to someone. Like the commentary on what it's like to be abused and like be blind to it, I get, but it's like that was kind of implied commentary. There wasn't any like expressed thoughts from the author other than like what the family went through. So I don't know, I'm kind of conflicted, but I don't really want to rate nonfiction. I usually don't, so my rating doesn't factor into it. Those are my thoughts. Now I'm going to jump into You Can Trust Me by Wendy Hurd, about two women in California who are like scammers. I guess they're like thieves or something. I don't know. It's kind of giving Pretty Things by Janelle Brown. So I'm going to dive in and let you know my thoughts. We have 2.5 more hours in the 24-hour readathon from 3 to 3, but since I slept for 4 hours, I might tack on an extra 4 hours just so I'm actually reading for the full 24. Also, I'm literally drinking my coffee from the cutest little glass. Are you kidding me? Olivia sent these to me. Thank you so much, Olivia. This is so sweet, and I feel very spooky and cute. Hello, vlog. We are 30 minutes from the technical end of the 24 hours, but I'm gonna extend it the 4 hours that I slept, so I'm actually reading for the 24 hours. But I am a third into You Can Trust Me by Wendy Hurd, and it's really good. There are a lot of different like subplots going on. Basically, we're following these two scammer girlies who like live life on the road, and they're just scamming these rich men. So there's a lot of rich people drama. It takes place in LA, so it's like California vibes. And there are many things going on. There's like background mysteries that we're learning about. There's the current scams that they're running. And then one of the girls like has gone missing. So they've lost touch with each other, and we're trying to figure out what's going on with both of them. There's just a lot of moving parts to the story. It goes really fast. There's a lot of just like drama, intrigue. The characters are interesting. I am really liking it. So we have a little bit of time left in this sprint. I'm gonna probably get a little bit further in this book, a few more chapters, and then have a little chat with the girls. Hello vlog, I'm now 2/3 of the way through You Can Trust Me, and this is super exciting, pretty fast paced. I'm really invested. I just want to know where like all these storylines are going, and I think I know where it's going. It is like much more dark and sinister than I expected. It's honestly kind of giving Pretty Girls in a way. It's like if The Club by Ellery Lloyd was good. Not to drag, but like I tried to read that book in my last 24-hour readathon and it did not go well for me. This one's going so much better. It's doing exactly what I wanted, giving me just like light, fun, easy, breezy thriller vibes. So it is currently 4:30. I'm going till 7 now instead of 3 because I'm tacking on the extra hours. So I have like 2.5 hours to finish this book. I might be able to start another novella or do something else in there, but definitely gonna finish this one. Hello vlog. I am taking a reading break to make dinner, but I made it to the 85% mark, and you can trust me, I have about an hour left, so I'm definitely gonna finish. Not gonna tack on another book because no pressure, no stress, but I'm definitely gonna finish my 4th book in 24 hours, which is super exciting. Getting close to the end. It's already taken a massive turn. I'm excited to see if there are more twists at the end. It's really reminding me of Pretty Girls, not because of any of the like similar plot elements, but because of like, there's just like a central theme that is reminding me of my favorite book. It's nowhere near as good as Pretty Girls. Like, it's not tugging on my emotions as much, but it's really fast paced. It's keeping me interested. It's a good book for a 24-hour readathon. So I will let you know when I finish it up. Hello vlog, it is the next day and I'm all nice and refreshed. I got a good amount of sleep last night because I could not close out this vlog on like 4 hours of sleep. It was not gonna happen, but I did end up finishing You Can Trust Me by Wendy Hurd before the end of the 24 hours were up, and I gave this 4.5 out of 5 stars. I loved it so much. I honestly did not expect to love it this much, but it was giving girl power at the end. It was giving twist on twist on twist. I was really liking where it went. It just didn't give me that 5-star feeling. That was the only reason why I knocked off a half a star. It was a really good time. It was fun. It had things to say. It just didn't like go all the way to that point. Like, the meaning wasn't so deep for me. I didn't have super emotional attachments to the characters, but I had a great time and I think it's a really solid thriller. I'll definitely be reading more from Wendy Hurd soon. So just to kind of wrap up the readathon, we had a 4.5 as well as a 5-star with This Is Where We Talk Things Out, and then a 3.5-ish 3 with the Little Lucinda Berry novella, and then I'm not gonna rate If You Tell. So overall, really successful, all pretty high ratings, and I pretty much enjoyed everything that I read. Let me know down below if you participated in the 24-hour readathon over on Patreon. What were your stats? Did you find a new favorite? I'm so excited to hear about it. And if you want to join in my next one, be sure to join us over on Patreon. But I always love so much doing these 24-hour readathons. Thank you guys for watching this video and just kind of taking in my experience of it. And I will definitely do more in the future. So thank you again so much for watching this. If you liked it, go ahead and give me a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And don't forget to go to therapy and read a book this week. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!